Hey, this is Stelio Savante, and you're watching the Red Booth Show. But don't tell anyone. Actually, tell everybody.
Hi, welcome to the Red Booth Show. I'm your host, Kimberly Q. On tonight's episode, I have actor Stelio Savante. He has been in a ton of TV shows and movies like Ugly Betty, The Making of the Mob, Starship Troopers, Marauder, and many more. So come and join us. So, hello, Stelio. How are
Hi,
you?
I'm good. I'm terrific. How are you?
I'm very good. I'm happy to have you on the show.
Yeah, it's great to be on the show.
I love your hat, by the way.
Thank you. I do too. I wear it sometimes. Thank you.
That's so cool. It totally matches, of course, with my whole vibe here.
It definitely appears that way. Yeah, no, I actually kind of miss wearing hats and leather jackets and cold weather clothes. Don't get to do too much of that in LA. Spend so many years in New York, then you move out here and
It
you
doesn't
can't
get
use
that
half the
cold
wardrobe.
here.
No,
I
no,
know.
it doesn't.
Plus, I think people dress more fancy in New York. Don't you agree?
Yes.
Yes.
Definitely at night, except for the people who move here from New York and wear black every day, all the time, even to Zuma Beach. And then sometimes you got to lose the black a little bit.
You
but
take
yeah.
off your leather jacket, you're at the beach.
That's right.
Right. Well, welcome to LA, and I've been
Thank
here
you.
for a while. But
Yes, 11 years.
that's cool.
Yeah, yeah.
And you've been in a bunch of movies. Like, this is a great story. So were you
Thanks.
doing acting in New York first?
No, actually, no, I was not. I was born and raised in South Africa, right? Moved over as an athlete, tennis scholarship to the University of West Alabama, nowhere near New York. And then fell
went
in
from
love with...
South Africa to Alabama?
Yeah, in 1990.
Wow.
Yeah. Left South Africa during apartheid and moved to Alabama. And the first day I walk in the cafeteria, it's all the white people sitting on one side and all the black on the other. And I'm going, I just left this behind. But the way I got into it was all the pretty girls were in the theater department. And I said, that's kind of that's where I want to be. And then fell in love with it and moved to
Well, I can't blame you for that.
Okay. No, no, definitely not. And then moved to New York in 1990. Excuse me, I'm lying. I was in Alabama for 2 years, moved to New York in 92. Lived there long time, and then got a recurring role on Ugly Betty in 2006.
Wow.
Yeah, moved out to LA. Our pilot was shot in Manhattan, in New York City, and then the show got picked up and...
So how did you get? Was that your first role? Like your first major role?
No.
Okay.
I had, many years of pretty high-end theater in New York City. Some amazing theater, yes, theater, or as they say in New York, theater. Theater. A lot of TV in New York. Sopranos, Law and Order, some very big guest star roles on Law
You
and
did that
Order.
in New York before you came out here?
Oh yeah.
Cool.
Law and Order: Criminal Intent, great episode with Angela Lansbury and Alfred
Oh, she's
Molina,
awesome.
and Bradley Cooper. Yeah, no, they were all
Bradley
great.
Cooper? Okay.
Bradley Cooper, yeah, and Law and Order: Criminal Intent, recurrings on some of the soaps, and then Ugly Betty was my first recurring. Moved out here 2006. Yeah.
Okay, so you came from Alabama, you went to New York. What was the first TV show that you did in New York?
First TV show in New York. Well, my first primetime role was on Law and Order SVU. Played a fundamentalist on the show. That's the one I just told you about with Alfred Molina and Angela Lansbury and Bradley Cooper. But prior to that, I don't know how many of you guys remember Jim Brewer from Saturday Night Live, Goat Boy. So funny.
Yeah.
He had his own pilot for Comedy Central called Pulp Comics. We didn't get picked up. I mean, we did air, but we didn't get picked up as a series. But I was in that. So
Pulp
that was
Comics?
Pulp Comics.
Oh, Pulp. Okay, was it
Yep.
like doing stand-up comedy or is it like sketch comedy?
It was more like sketch comedy. There was a certain amount of it that was scripted, but Jim is so brilliant at improvisation that he doesn't even need a script. I mean, so funny. And of course, every person he meets wants him to do the Goat Boy impression. So that found its way into like every scene. It was great.
That's awesome. And
Yeah.
you were in The Sopranos.
Yes.
What did you play in The Sopranos?
Sopranos, I played Gaetano. I have a couple lines of an episode with Federico Castelluccio, who played Furio. And then I actually
What are
got
the lines? Can you say them?
Oh my gosh, we're going back
I put him in the hot seat right now.
Yeah, that's about 20 years ago, man.
Okay,
I can't remember what I had for breakfast this morning. But I did get to work with Jim again. I've actually been producing a 9/11 play based on first-hand accounts of 9/11 that I brought out to LA. We did it last year at my teacher Bill Alderson's studio with Mira Sorvino and Robert Forster, some phenomenal artists, based on first-hand accounts of 9/11 from the perspective of homeless people, preachers, photographers. But we did it in 2004 at the Public in New York. Susan Sarandon, John Turturro, James Gandolfini, Edie Falco. So I got to work with James a couple of times, and Jamie Lynn Sigler was in it the next time I did it. So,
wow.
Yeah.
Amazing.
Yeah, good bunch of people to work with for sure.
Very cool.
Yeah.
Okay, so you've done a bunch of these shows, these TV shows, and
Sure.
then also film too.
A lot of film, yeah.
Yeah.
I have some very exciting projects coming out. I had never been to Hawaii before, and actually very late last year went to the Big Island for the first time.
Nice.
To shoot an amazing drama period piece called Joe the Medicine Runner, opposite Matt Dillon and Jim Caviezel.
Nice.
It's about the coffee plantations in the early 1900s. Yes.
Out in Hawaii? Okay, good. I'm so sorry. We have to take a break.
Okay.
We'll be right back, and then you could tell us more about the movie in Hawaii.
I really wanted to put a deck on my house.
The floor was creaking, and there were cracks in the wall.
I had them put in walls in my basement.
Well, the whole thing was done on time, on budget, and not a day of work was missed.
Alpha Structural is a top-rate company. I'd recommend them to anybody.
If you live in a hillside home and gravity is pulling you towards the edge of the cliff, I recommend you call Alpha.
It was a real pleasure to work with Alpha.
And welcome back to the Red Booth Show. We are here with Stelio. How's it going?
Good.
Good.
It's good, yeah.
Cool. So we were talking about the movie that you
Yes.
were doing in Hawaii.
Yes.
What's the name of the movie?
It's called Joe the Medicine Runner.
Right, okay.
Working with some amazing artists. Most of my scenes are with Matt Dillon. I have some scenes with Jim Caviezel, who I've worked with before. It deals with the coffee plantations, early 1900s in Hawaii. And I'm playing a Portuguese foreman who basically, they ran all the coffee plantations. Great story, directed by David L. Cunningham, who did The Path to 9/11. He did To End All Wars. What an amazing place Hawaii is. My wife and daughter came out to visit for a couple of weeks. 13 climate zones, 13. So you go from rainforest to tropical beach to volcanic lava tubes that are 10 foot tall. Amazing, just beautiful.
13?
It has all of the world's
So
13
like,
climate
what?
zones. Yep.
That's crazy.
It is.
There's not
'cause
snow,
everything-
though.
I didn't see snow while we
Yeah.
were there, but I wouldn't be shocked if they get it because
Wow.
they have some
Really tall
huge
mountains,
mountains,
right,
some
yeah.
very beautiful mountains. Yep.
Wow. Well, I've never been. Well, I think I stopped by in the airport, but that doesn't count.
Oh, no,
right?
you
have
gotta
to
go.
get out and see. So I will be.
You have to.
Yeah.
Make sure you go to the Kona side and the Hilo side. They're both very, very, very different.
Okay.
Yeah.
And wow, good to know. Okay, so while you were working on this movie, you were
Yeah.
working with Matt Dillon.
Yeah.
And what was that like? Was he? I mean, he's been acting for a really long time.
He has, yeah.
Was he like just easy, just one take wonder kind of thing, or?
No, I mean, he has his process just like every actor does, but he was great to work with, very chill guy, very easy to work with, very director friendly, very actor friendly, and has that wonderful energy to work off of. So I had a blast.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
Exciting. And when is this movie coming out?
Actually, we finished post a couple of months ago, so we're waiting news
Doing
imminently.
Distribution.
On it to come, yeah. And then the second I got back from that, I got booked on one of Tyler Perry's shows
What?
called The Haves and the Have-Nots.
Okay.
So I was down in Atlanta for a little while.
Yeah, I was gonna say he shoots everything in Georgia, doesn't he?
He does. And I had been in Atlanta the year prior for a couple of months. I was on a new series called Media. We had a phenomenal premiere. We actually trended #1 on Twitter. Pooch Hall, Brian White, and I couldn't quite get used to living in Atlanta. I mean, it's an exciting time to be there. The business is booming there.
Yeah, tons of movies.
It
and-
is,
yeah.
but I miss Los Angeles a lot. So anyway, I'm on the new season of Tyler Perry's The Haves and the Have-Nots,
Nice.
and I just finished a gig
What did
on
you play
Arrested
on?
Development.
Okay.
I played Dino, who is huge surprise in the mob. I tend to play a lot of those. So working with Tyler was fascinating. He gets things done. That man's brain is beautiful. I mean, he multitasks better than anyone I've ever seen. Writes, films, directs every episode himself. He literally will do a season in 3 days. Yeah.
That's
I mean,
crazy.
it's unbelievable. 4 cameras, 1 take, so you get everything at once. Just a wonderful human being. Makes everybody feel empowered, makes everybody feel... He's great at putting people in positions to excel what they're great at. So I loved him. Loved working with him.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
Well, he's kind of a phenomenon because he
Yes,
just
he is.
created his own little kind of empire, like just
Yes, he
making
did.
everything himself. And so that's super cool. You got to work with him and meet him and everything.
It's amazing. He's creating work for so many people down there. I mean, Tyler Perry Studios, I think they have 16 or 17 sound stages. And yep, he's got several series on the air. I think 4 of them are on OWN, the Oprah Network, which is where the Haves and the Have-Nots airs. And
Is that about
love
rich
working.
people? I'm sorry, I haven't seen it. What is it about?
You'll have to watch the show.
Okay.
You'll have to watch the show. But I will say that Tyler has a brilliant... He has his finger on the pulse and the beat of what people... He just knows what people love to watch. He knows what people love to see. He knows what his audience is. And it is a very, very... There's nothing really else like it on television. They're in season 5 right now. And Oprah Network has done a great job promoting the series. So excited to be on it.
Well, man, I'll have to catch up.
Yeah.
That people should go check it out. I'm sure they can also watch it online as well, right? Or
I
is it
don't know if
just-
the Haves and the Have-Nots actually re-airs their episodes online. I'm not sure because we haven't gotten to that season yet or that part of it yet, so I don't know. That's a great question. Yeah.
Oh, okay. Well, there we go. So you were in Georgia and you were like, I'm missing LA.
Yes.
What's the big difference? Because I have the same phenomenon. When I leave LA, it's like a nice getaway, but then I'm like, I don't know, I love it here for some reason. I know there's problems and things here that are wrong, but it seems like you just become like hooked on being in LA.
You do, and I'm originally from Cape Town, so the lifestyle is very similar to Los Angeles. It's wide open, vast space that's coastal.
Right.
Mountains are right there.
Right.
The climate is very similar. Cape Town has no clue what winter is. The winters are
Right.
not harsh. You drive everywhere.
There's a lot of surfing there
and
too, isn't there?
Tremendous amount of surfing.
Yeah.
Yeah. We have some great surfers. So you get accustomed to that, and having lived in New York for so long, I never really got used to the winters or the summers. It's so humid. My gosh, New York is so humid. So once you move to LA and you feel like it's where you've wanted to live your whole life, and then you're finally here and you've been here 11 years, you're used to a certain pace. You're used to driving to where you want to go and either being in mountains or canyons or ocean, and that does have an effect on you. It definitely has an effect on you, whereas New York, you're in the subway most of the time.
Yeah.
So there's just a certain... LA has its own culture. It's very unique. And it's once you step away from it, you realize how much you miss it. Because granted, a lot of us that live here do complain. Guilty as charged. LA traffic, you want to go out of your mind. And then I get to Atlanta and people complain about traffic there, and they have no idea what traffic is.
No, they have no idea.
No clue. Put them on the 405 for 3 hours to go
exactly.
5 miles. And then tell me what traffic is. So no, I love it. And then you come back and you have your... We live right in the canyons. We're 15 minutes from the beach. I'm 20 minutes from Burbank.
I know you're in Topanga, which is the whole hippie community, which upscale though. Upscale hippie. That's what I call it.
Yeah, I mean we're in Woodland Hills. We're just north of Ventura, so I'm not in Topanga. I know the exact community you're talking about, but it's far enough away that it feels like you're going home when you go home at night, while at the same time you're close enough to wherever you need to be.
Yeah.
I didn't always live here. The first few months we moved out was Hancock Park, because Ugly Betty shot at Raleigh Studios, so I literally was like less than a mile from where... Because I didn't
in
know...
the middle of it
is.
down there, yeah.
Yep.
Okay, we have to take another break, but we will be right back with the Red Booth Show.
All right.
shelter pet who wants to meet you. Meet one today. Visit theshelterpetproject.org. Adopt.
So, welcome back to the Red Booth Show. And we were just discussing with Stelio living in LA, and obviously, you know, you're living, doing the filmmaking world, you're living as an actor, you've done a lot of great, you know, projects. What sort of stuff are you working on now, and what's coming up?
Geez, I have about 3 films in post. I have in terms of stuff in terms of films I'm in that have just come out, I have 5 new films on Netflix. I really, really strongly recommend, for those of you that have not seen what I consider to be one of the greatest films to ever come out of South Africa, called Colors of Heaven. We won 2 Oscars back home. It's based on the 1967 riots, the true story of a man named Muntu Ndebele, shot all over South Africa. And it's on Netflix right now. And then another African.
You just wrapped this one? Like it's just
No,
come
these
out?
are ones that have just gotten distribution and are now available for the public in the U.S.
Okay.
Another one is Where the Road Runs Out. We were actually the first film to shoot in Equatorial Guinea. We also shot in Rotterdam and in South Africa, in Durban.
Wow, you travel a lot.
I do. And then a film called Eisenstein in Guanajuato, which was nominated at Berlin.
Guanajuato? Where's that?
Guanajuato is it's one of the most beautiful cities in the world. If you've never been to Guanajuato, I highly recommend it. It's where Diego Rivera and Frida Kahlo lived. It's where their house is.
Really?
Yes, and their characters in the film. Eisenstein in Guanajuato is directed by Peter Greenaway, and it's based on 10 days in Eisenstein's life. Eisenstein, one of the greatest directors that's ever lived, actually invented montage and taught people how to edit. He would shoot hours and hours of films. Battleship Potemkin is probably his best known film, and we shot that in Mexico. 3-hour flight from here to Guanajuato. Just gorgeous, gorgeous town. One of the last strongholds against the Spanish, so it feels like a southern Spanish town.
Wow.
You know, cobblestone streets. You feel like you've taken a step back in time. Incredibly clean, really safe, and sad to see what's happening in Mexico right now with all the earthquakes.
It's crazy.
horrible. Yeah.
This last one was 8.1 and like just decimated so many buildings.
Yes. No, just horrible. And then I'm off to do a phenomenal film in Fort Worth called Hate Crimes, written and directed by Porter Farrell, with Mira Sorvino, Keith David, and Michael Beach.
Wow, what's that one about?
Hate Crimes has to do with, I can't really talk too much about it because our pressers haven't gone out. Deals with a woman who's made a lot of changes in her life based on something that happened to her when she was a child that she was greatly affected by. She's tried to move on from it. She finds out that one of the people that had something to do with her parents' death is out, and it turns into a hostage situation. It has elements of Dog Day Afternoon in it, white knuckle thriller, character driven. I've worked with Porter before. I was in his first film, Windsor, which came out last year, and we're going to be shooting in Fort Worth, so we're about 250 to 300 miles from where the floods happened in Houston.
Wow.
Yeah.
Crazy. When are you going out there?
I'm leaving in about 10 days. I'll be gone about 2 weeks.
Nice.
Yeah, it is nice, and at least it's not summer, because the last time I shot in Texas was in summer.
Talk about humid.
Oh my gosh, in a woolen suit.
Oh.
I must have lost 15 pounds. It was insane. So hot, so hot.
Oh my God. Okay, well, we have to take another break.
Sure.
We'll be right back with Stelio.
Bye-bye.
Hi. Hoping for a crisp breeze to help keep you alert. Oh, he took a sip of water too. That'll probably help. You were probably gonna turn down the radio too, so you could focus, right?
Probably okay isn't okay.
Right.
If you see a warning sign, stop and call a cab, a car, or a friend.
I think the water line is what really drove it home. I blew on him.
Okay, so we drowned the fire, stirred it, drowned it again, and now just feel if it's cold.
Yeah.
Cool.
Smokey just gave me a bear hug.
I know. I already posted it.
Don't give up hope. Think of the kids. It's over.
I've never.
We're down by 50.
50. But we're only 2 minutes left.
Huh?
Oh, Norm.
You're going down. Down.
Oh, that does it. You're in.
Finally.
Love and hope can change the world.
Feed the big man. A case of abuse is reported every 10 seconds. While you were watching this video, 3 cases of abuse, including sexual and physical, were reported. Visit childhelp.org to learn more. And in the meantime, please send in whatever you can.
Use your voice. Volunteer or foster a child. Donate monthly, become a child helper.
Get involved. Take action.
Get in the game. Fight abuse. 5 children die every day.
You got the love and hope can change the world.
And welcome back to the Red Booth Show. We are here with Stelio. Come on. I mean, this guy's just been in like so many shows and so many movies. It's amazing. And apparently you're also in another genre of media, which is the video game.
Video games. I love video games. I play them. I'm in them. They're a blast.
Okay, now
Yes.
he's in Call of Duty, you guys. Okay, it's probably one of the biggest like fighter games that's out there right now.
Yes, I'm in
Okay.
IW7. I play the faster than light character, which is on the.
No idea what that means.
He's the guy on the multiplayer level.
Okay.
Coolest looking outfit. Just the coolest looking outfit.
So what do? They put like these little sensors on you and you
No,
play like
for-
motion or?
Well, this one actually for me isn't mocap. It's
Okay.
VCap, so it's voice cap.
Okay.
But
That means he does the voice.
Yes, I do voices.
What is the voice for it?
Well, you have to play the game. I
Oh,
can't.
come on.
No, I can't.
You can't ever do just like do one sentence.
No, I can't. I can't
Call
for
of
them.
Duty. Oh, man.
I can't, but it's on the downloadable content, and when you get to the multiplayer level, you'll definitely know who the faster than light character is. I'm also in Uncharted. I play.
Oh, you shot me.
I did.
I'm
I
trying-
did actually shoot you. I play several of the South African characters. Like 9 of the guys that get killed in South African accents, they die in a South African accent. That's me. In the last 2 Uncharteds, I've had a lot of fun with that franchise.
So that's okay. So I'm not familiar with Uncharted, but I've heard it's really cool.
Yeah.
So are you in that? You're in. How many games are there?
So each game has its. So there's its own game. For example, Call of Duty IW7 is one game, but then there's the expansion pack, which is.
There's so many
similar.
Call of Duties, right?
Yeah.
There's
Well,
like a ton
Call of Duty the series.
Yeah.
We're on number 7 right now.
Okay.
But each one of them has a downloadable content and an expansion pack.
Mhm.
So one game will have like 3 different sections, but they stagger them. They don't all come out at the same time.
Right.
And Uncharted Legacy is the one I'm in that's coming out next. I believe it hits, I think, early next month. So I'm excited about that one because it's the same character that I played in A Thieves' Den, which came out last year.
Cool.
And man, they get it. They do it right. Their Naughty Dog is phenomenal. Love working with them.
Is that the company that creates the games?
They are. They produce it. They're right off the 405 here in LA. Just such a great team to work with. Very encouraging of improvisation, and I love playing South African because that's where I'm originally from.
So you do the South African accent.
Yeah, I mean, people say that there's like 10 different South African accents, so I do some of them. Oh yeah, absolutely. I mean, there's the South African. First of all, it's territorial. So if you're from Cape Town, you're not going to sound the same way you do if you're from Johannesburg or Durban. If you're English or Afrikaans, because we spoke up growing several languages, you're not going to have the same accent. And then if you're a black South African, you're not going to sound like a white South African. And within that, there's Zulu, there's Sotho, there's Xhosa. There's so many different languages and accents. Yeah.
Wow, and you can do like pretty much all of them, or what do you think?
No, that would be a lie. No, I cannot. I can do about 3 or 4 of them. Now I do speak several other languages. I grew up speaking Greek in my house.
Wow.
So
in South Africa?
Yeah, a lot of Greek South Africans and Italian South Africans, just like we have Greek Americans and Italian Americans.
Right.
Yeah. I just want to make it clear, although I'm born and raised in South Africa and I'm now American and live in America, I am not African American. I just want to clear that up. Okay? Because a lot of people tell me I'm African American and I go, I'm South African American. There's a huge difference. So now that we have that clear.
He's Greek South African American.
Yes, I am. Well, partially. My mother isn't. My father is. But yeah.
I'm glad you cleared that up.
Yes.
Okay, so, and I heard, is it true you were in Invictus?
Yes. No, in Invictus, actually, all I did was I get called in to do a tremendous amount of ADR loop group stuff because a lot of times you'll have people playing South Africans who cannot do the accents. The work is horrible.
Why would they hire them if they can't do the accent?
Because South Africa offers a great tax incentive, so you'll have movies like Safe House shooting there, you'll have Mad Max shooting in Namibia, you'll have Invictus shooting in South Africa, and it's not just the lead character that's played by an American, it'll be the top 5 billing, the top 7 billing characters, and sometimes that work will need to be corrected or revised, and that's where they'll bring in what's called a voice specialist or an accent specialist.
So you go and you actually loop the voice.
That's exactly right. But for Invictus, it was not on camera. It was literally voice looping.
Crazy. Yeah. But I could have seen you being in Invictus, though. You could be one of the, what do they call them?
The rugby players?
Yeah, the rugby players.
No, definitely not big enough for that. No. I have too many teeth. Are you kidding me?
Well, it's been so great having you on the show.
Thank you.
Yeah, I'm excited to see the new movies coming out, and
Thank you. I appreciate it, and I love this red booth. I'm actually going to take it home right after we turn off. This is awesome. I love it.
Thank you. Yeah. It's my little comfy spot. I get to talk to all you amazing actors and artists out here. So
I appreciate that. I don't know how amazing we are, but
I'm extremely impressed, and I can't wait to see you in more movies. And hopefully you don't always have to play in The Mob, and you get to play some other.
No, I'm not. Yeah. I'm not always.
Yeah,
not always.
Well, cool. Thanks again for being on the show.
All right. Thanks for watching us. Catch you on the next one.
See you next time.